Yeah, stress
I
is
can tell
big.
you, I can tell you, when we first opened up with the COVID news, I, I made a little discovery in the last couple of days too that, I mean, I can't officially confirm it, but I'm pretty sure. I was just looking into, because I have the pre-existing lung condition due to a severe respiratory infection that I had in 2003, 2004. Um, so I looked at it, and I was wondering. I don't know how I stumbled on this, but I stumbled on the last outbreak of anything like this was the SARS-3. You remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
You heard about that?
Matter of
Well,
fact, I think this is a branch of that.
so the coronavirus is a branch of the SARS. Well,
Yeah.
I I am 90 something percent sure I had SARS, which they weren't able to identify. And this was back in '03. I looked. It was
Oh,
a
really?
pandemic. It was a pandemic that another one originated in China in April of 2003. They only had a few cases in North America, um, but they had quite a few, like Australia, China, uh, Europe, even some into Africa. But it did make it to North America, primarily Canada. But
How the hell did you get it at Camp Pendleton?
well, that's what I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. Again, I'm not going to go in the conspiracy rabbit hole, but I've talked to other veterans. I've talked to other veterans that
They
seem
kind of
to,
came up with something for absolutely no reason.
right. No, well, I'll tell you a couple things that might make me think that led me to think it might have been SARS. Just the but first, I've talked to other veterans who've mentioned, like, after they got deployment, and this was right after I got some deployment immunizations.
Yeah.
Every now and then, again, I'm not saying one way or the other, but I heard an interesting conspiracy theory, and there's a population of veterans out there that talk about being experimented on with viruses, with how they think they have been or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew a guy 10 years ago, when swine flu was out, whatnot. He's like, oh, I had that about 15 years ago. He's like, I swear I had the same thing. I swear it was swine flu. They didn't know what it was, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, whatever. Because I told him about my illness that I had, and he's like, I'm telling you, they gave you something. There's no way someone as healthy as you should have been floored the way you were. Again, I was in a high stress situation, but I
Yeah.
was floored by the way it attacked my respiratory. Sounds exactly like the effects they say that SARS and the coronavirus have, which, they are respiratory
Wow.
diseases. The thing that makes me most suspicious,
But it
I don't
makes
really,
sense. It
well,
makes
the
sense,
thing,
dude. I mean, because how are you going to catch it out there? You're not.
listen to this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no, I was saying, yeah, I mean,
No, tell me.
maybe, I don't know, but it was, I'd say, 5 days about after I had the deployment vaccinations. I got a ton of them. They didn't tell you what they're giving you, but
Yeah.
anyway, I don't remember this part. I was in intensive care for 4 days. I was in the hospital for a total of 2 weeks initially, and then
Yeah.
went to like a light duty squadron at the hospital, and then I relapsed and went back in the hospital with pneumonia. But before that, my first time in pneumonia, or first time in the hospital, during that 4 days in ICU, I was in and out of consciousness. I was bad. I had family there. My grandparents, my mom, and my aunt were all there,
Yeah.
and waiting around out in the intensive care unit where they could hear doctors, see people coming in and out, seeing me. My doctors kept saying, I'm amazed he's still alive. This kid should have been dead a while ago," or stuff like that, saying things like that.
Yeah.
But the kicker is, all my family vouches for this. They say, I don't remember this at all, but they said a team of all Chinese doctors, speaking full out Chinese and everything, came, examined me a few times, like a team of specialist Chinese doctors,
No
while
shit.
I was in intensive care. Again, I don't remember this, but my mom, my aunt, my grandparents all said they were vouching for this. They're like, yeah, it's so weird that just like a team, they're all speaking Chinese, they're all Chinese doctors, and the doctor said they were brought in from China. The doctors that were looking at me didn't know what I had. They weren't able to diagnose anything. They diagnosed it as adenovirus that turned into bacterial and viral pneumonia, double pneumonia, and that's what
Yeah.
fucked me up. But it sounds like the exact way that they were initially treating patients with coronavirus. Like, we don't know what it is. We can't really diagnose it. We don't know much about it. I never got an official diagnosis until after they wrote my discharge papers. They diagnosed me with adenovirus, which turned into double pneumonia. But they were treating me for everything from valley fever. I had they said 23 different antibiotics and antivirals being pumped into me at one point. They didn't know what the hell I was doing. I had 3 different IVs in my body to get all this medicine in. Again, I don't remember the Chinese doctor team, but it trips me the fuck out. And knowing that the same kind of virus originated in China that year and made its way around, and I just completely healthy individual got that sick. Again, I was under high stress situations, but so were a lot of other people.
But so is everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
like, dude, that doesn't make any sense for you to be singled out in that. I mean, your high stress situation was just boot camp.
I got that sick. Yeah.
Which was, which is just everybody in the military goes through it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like I said, I was totally healthy. I was, one of the top guys in my company, and as far as the PFTs went and everything, and then just floored me like that. But anyway, so that's my whole suspicion. I think I had SARS, and I was looking up, like, if you had SARS before, does it help with your immunity to COVID or whatever? There's no real research on that or anything. So
maybe.
I was curious about it. Yeah, so I went down a little rabbit hole.
Yeah, I'm sure. But it's funny. It's funny because looking at the baby,